Yeah, gotta get the wolf machine gun, exactly. Alright, so green, white, bow. For those not familiar with this card, bow refers to Vivien's Arkbow here. So pay X and discard a card from your hand to look at the top X cards of your library and put a creature cost with a given mana cost X or less from your graveyard directly into play. This card synergizes well with Nightpack Ambusher because activating our bow does not constitute casting a spell. So one of the things that's actually kind of sweet that I've done before is if you bow into Nightpack Ambusher on your own turn, this triggers at your end step the turn it came into play if you didn't cast anything and you just activated this. That's kind of a sweet interaction. You can also play Nightpack Ambusher on 4, and then on 5, bow into Tolsimir, and then Nightpack Ambusher's tokens fight with Tolsimir as well. So let's go ahead and dive on into some matches here. This was a deck that I had brewed up in the first few days following the initial core set release, and we haven't revisited it yet. So let's see how it still, if it still holds up in the format that's developed a little bit more. Kusabe, thank you for the quarter viewer support. You love this deck. I love the idea of this deck too. So hopefully it's still reasonable. Nightpack Ambusher is definitely a card that I love casting. And thankfully the Sultai and blue-green flash decks feel really good, so even if this deck's not a winner, we still have a place we can cast it. I'm on the draw. I'm going to be greedy and keep this. Didn't have it. Arboreal Grazer is much better than Paradise Druid against aggressive decks. It also gives us more turn 1 acceleration. I'm gonna bin that. I think we're just like looking at some land drops here. You play black for removal spells, Draken. We played it a couple of times on this stream here. You can find details on my deck list page on my website. Wow, they missed with Rejuvenator. Awkward. I'm gonna go Arkbow plus Thorn Lieutenant here, I think. I don't have Cavalier of Dawn, any other cards, just some other piece of top end. And in general, Cavalier's a pretty unique effect, though. Like it's like answer target problem card, basically. I feel like they're probably a Scape Shift deck, which might be a little bit hard for us. Might pose a bit of a challenge. I didn't miss lethal, did I? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. No, we were too short of lethal. I didn't sit and count the Tristani buff. Hey, Kovote. Thank you for the Prime sub. Have a good one yourself. I appreciate you keeping me employed here with that. So even if they have a sweeper here, I get to bow. Now they could have Scape Shift here. If they Scape Shift, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If they Scape Shift, and we hit Tolsimir, we might actually be able to play through it. Because Tolsimir will gain us a lot of life. So if they get 2 Fields of the Dead here and then 6 other lands, that's 2 times 8, they make 16 zombies. So our ideal hits here are Tolsimir off the bow activation and then another Nightpack Ambusher next turn on next turn's bow activation. Yep. They could play a Samut. That's true. Sure. Come on, Tolsimir. There we go. Puppy. Gobble, gobble. This gains 3. I'm going to shock this in. I'm going to activate this for 6, 7. Do I want to just put another Tolsimir in? Nah, probably not. I think I just want to Cavaclade. Nuke this. Am I still alive here? This puts me to 23. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blockers. And they're hitting me... So 9, so that's 5, 6, 7. I don't believe we're dead. All right, so let's do this for 6 again. Second, Nightpack Ambusher. Nightpack Ambusher comes into play and gets to eat something and gain 3. Can I get aggressive here? If they kill this, I pick my Arkbow back up, right? That seems fine. And end of turn, I'm gonna get 2 4/4s. You guys have to not die to the crisis. There is also a Blast Zone over here I kind of need to think about. Yeah, if I attack it and they block with this, I finish the crisis with a fight. That's exactly correct. So bow comes back to my hand. Ambusher triggers. I think I just want to keep fighting 2/2s here. They have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana total, so they're still pretty far from Finale doing anything too impressive. Triple Field of the Dead, yep. They put Blast Zone to 4, yep. It was really bad, dude. We never got to Omniscience, anyone, unfortunately. Oh, they do have Vigilance? I just assumed they were all the same. Cavalier does not hit land. It's a non-land permanent. I think I'm okay trading these 2 for 1. I should bow now because I could hit Tristani and blow them out. That's really unfortunate. Do I even want to put that out? I don't, right? Yeah, you need the fixing. We need green mana early, and we need green mana early, and we also need, what's what I'm searching for? We need green mana early, and we need, what's it called late? Triple white for the Cavalier. Oh, root might be lethal. They're out of lands to get with it. That's good for us. Alright, so I'm not going to throw away the Jadelight yet. I think I just take 12 here because I want to play the Tristani next turn. We were 1 off of hitting the other Tristani last turn to blow out all of their blocks inside of combat. We were 1 off. What an unreal tilt. What an unreal tilt. I'm going to go ahead and do this because there's a bunch more Tolsimirs in my deck that I'd like to be able to find our way into. You needed that Llanowar Elf. Shouldn't have turned it into a golem. Tolsimir's, yeah, Tolsimir's token is legendary too. That's a little scary. Now, we'd probably be winning this game in a not close manner if we'd have hit that. It's unfortunate. Pretty content to give these up here. So we're gonna gain 2, and they'll lose 5 zombies, and we'll lose 2 soldiers. So I've got 1 more Cavalier of Dawn in my deck that we could maybe Arkbow into. I think I'm just passing. I think I'm looking for a Tolsimir this turn. Yikes. Yep. I mean, that was bound to happen, right? Like, they're probably a 4 Crisis deck. Yeah, in a perfect world, I should be keeping track of all that, but in real life, it's just, like, not happening. So what's the out? It's hitting, the out is hitting exactly our other thing here. That's pretty unlikely. Yeah, that turn, the turn that they set up double blocks on all of our 4/4s and we could have hit the Tristani. That was the tipping point. Yikes. I think we'd have been able to aggro them out if we'd have hit it that turn, and we just didn't, unfortunately. We don't really have great stuff to bring in here. Like, I guess I bring in Baffling End to clean up their crisis, but like, I don't know if that's really super relevant. That was a close game. Some good back and forth, yeah. Considering they put like 16 2/2s into play on like turn 6, like that game was really close, right? One of the other reasons people are talking about a Grazer versus other ramp options, one of the other reasons I really like Grazer in this list is because, like, when the Grazer's bad, you just like Arkbow it away. Just like, oh, this isn't a big deal. I think this game I'm actually going to put in... I could have taken 2 less damage here if I sequenced different, right? If I cast this off of this and then play the Plains for the turn and then put the Temple Guard into play tap. I wasn't sure I was going to play the Grazer. Why white over green? Because the white kills things. Although, maybe the green would be good in here just because it does ramp us, and ramping us is something we're interested in doing on occasion. I could see that being okay. The idea was that I want creatures that actually do stuff in my deck, like creatures that do specific tasks, and like killing target problem permanent is like a pretty good task to do. Yeah, the fact that Mayhem Devil triggers when your opponent sacrifices things is exciting. Yeah, the problem with like trying to get green Cavalier in here at the core is that, like, what do I cut? This feels so bad. Where are my lands?
You fight like a city brat.
Probably dead here. I guess they're also stumbling, huh? JK, LOL. Another fun side effect from this card is you get to shoot your Arboreal Grazer when you're all done with it and upgrade it into a 3/3, which is like pretty reasonable. That might be what we actually do here. Nah, probably not. We probably need to start looking for Tolsimir's plus Nightpack Ambusher again, because there's a good chance they start generating things with Field of Dead this turn, right? Like a single ramp spell lets Field of Dead start doing stuff for them again. Maybe I was supposed to Nightpack our bow on my turn, so if I hit Nightpack, I would have gotten to make a token with it. Tolsimir's not bad. You know what? That was wrong. I should have fought the Risen Reef, because if this hits Nightpack, the Nightpack could eat the Hydrate Crisis and live. Yeah. So I should have a 4/4 in play right now if I had played this better. Which is like a really big deal, right? Because like they'd be going to 10 here. And like I frequently talk about like the actual result of my matches like isn't really what I'm looking for. Like just thinking about those different possible outs and lines and like how we can sequence better. Those are really what I'm looking to take away from the games that I'm playing. Are we playing around Settle the Wreckage, chat? Anybody think we should play around Settle the Wreckage?
There is wonder in a blade of grace.
No, excellent. We're gonna get fogged because that's how this format works. Wow, actual factual settle. Sure. I feel like we've gotten settled way too many times today. Well, my bow activations are a lot more accurate now. Wait, they already had a field in play, right? I feel like sacrificing the field they already have in play is wrong, but I don't know the math. Maybe they have 4 fields. I guess if they have 4 fields, they get triple field plus 6. We could be staring down like 27 tokens here. Bo's gonna be like Robin Hood, yep. No, just, And I think once again... Now we're through 2 Tolsimirs. But if we hit... this is 4... 8, 9... 10. So I could Tristani plus Cavalier here, but then I don't make Nightpack Ambusher. I think I just bow for 9 here. Oh, I do have Vivien. All right, let's just do this.
I've seen puppies whine less than you.
Okay. All right. All right, we're passing. We're passing. It's been a hot second since we've played with this card. I do love the redundancy this deck has. It gets to do the same thing almost every game. Because you just have, like, lots of ways. Like, when you don't draw these cards, sometimes you just draw these ones, which is nice. I've been holding on to this Cavalier of Dawn so that way we can kill a Hydroid Crisis like this. So, Nightpack Ambusher says, at the beginning of your end step, if you didn't cast a spell this turn, create a 2/2 wolf. So this is an intervening if clause, which means it checks if we cast a spell for the turn when it goes on the stack, but it also checks if we cast a spell for the turn when it resolves. So, if I do what people are suggesting and do that, I lose my thing. Why didn't I fight one that was attacking? Because I was talking and clicking at the same time. For those that are wondering the answer to that. Maybe I'm supposed to make Tristani and block a bunch there. So I'm going to take another 2 damage I didn't need to take here because I didn't fight one that was attacking. So I'm taking 22 here, and then they're losing a bunch of them. I don't want to block with this because I don't want it to die. Oh, and if I would have put in the Tristani, I would have been able to block with this, right? If I put in the Tristani, this would have been a 5/5. Yeah, that was super sloppy. Yeah, do I win on the backswing's a question. if I kill this, they're taking 12. So if I bow into another Nightpack here, keep the Tolsimir that can attack. I think I want to keep the one that fights so I can fight this 3/3. And then are they dead? They block 4. They take 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So they're not dead. Yeah. Rough. All right, well, let's give this Vigilance an attack here. If I'd have put the Tristani into play here, they'd probably be dead. So, I had some slops this game too. There were a number of slops to be had. It's not over just yet, but I definitely could have played much better here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're still pretty far off of being able to play their what's it called card, the white card, the white finale that makes a bunch of tokens. They also don't have 12 to give them +10/+10 yet. That's true. That's true. I got an extra attack in because of the sequencing there. This deck is a lot of fun. Between all the instant speed stuff and other things, it's definitely a blast to play. So, there's only one Nightpack left in my deck, but I'm like pretty likely to find it here too. So I think I need to at this point. What? That attack seems loose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have like 10 blockers. You're gonna like throw away a bunch of zombies for like 2 points of damage? This attack seems awful. I mean, I'll take it because I've made some really bad plays this game too, but this seems loose. So they're losing that many zombies to deal 6 to me. That seems super favorable for my side of the board. So I think my plan here is to bow, leaving enough mana to Tristani. So I can bow for 5 here and hope to hit Nightpack Ambusher, I think is the line. Okay, there's a Tristani. That's not even terrible, just because it gives me extra lifelink tokens, which is great.
Tear it down. Tear it all down.
I'm gonna attack with these if they wanna pile them. Actually, should I attack with these two? Nah, I don't think we're that far ahead yet. Yeah, I do have a window to play Jadelight as well. So if they want to trade 2 for 1 on these, I'm happy with that exchange. This also gives me an extra card to hand from this dying, because I'm gonna get the Baffling End back to my hand, which insulates me against their next Hydroid Crisis. Go up to 12, fight this. Yeah, the dynamics in what's going on here has been between keeping up with the zombie tokens from them and then like the Nightpack Ambusher Tolsimir interaction on our side of the board keeping up. Not a super typical game of. I'm so confused. Yep, I mean, yep. How many lands do we think are left in their deck? Like, how many more zombies do they have in them? What does floating mana do? I'm losing my planeswalker that lets me play at instant speed. What does floating mana accomplish? I was really hoping this would get at least one counter on it. Okay, so now the real question. I'm actually really sad I lost my Cavalier now, because if I would have had my Cavalier in play, I would have gotten to pick my bow back up. But if I had a bow here, we'd be fine, right? How many Krasis are they through? That's asking the real questions. One. They're only through 2 Krasis. That being said, they're at 21 cards in their deck. We're probably getting in danger of, like, Finale killing us at this point, right? They showed us green Finale and white Finale in the first game. Like, we can answer this Krasis, but I assume there's a Finale in our future. This is a heck of a first match, huh? Not bad television. Pretty good first match. Nice, Mastermind. Are we out of Tolsimirs? We're out of Tolsimirs. There's only one Nightpack Ambusher left. I mean, I feel like our out here is they don't have green Finale in their deck anymore, and they deck themselves. I'm not sure how we win outside of them decking themselves. Yeah, my opponent's deck is one of the many examples of things people are doing in the format that just like died a mono red. They're going pretty wide here. We might be dead to just attacks here. The fact that this didn't get a 3rd point of toughness really sucks, because it can't eat zombies inside of combat. The fact that this deck's favorite plan is keep up with their combo is impressive. I agree. So we're taking 5 on this combat step. Or sorry, 4, 5, 6, 7 down to 9. If we'd have hit a Nightpack Ambusher there, we might have been okay. I assume they still have green Finale in their deck. Maybe they boarded it out. Maybe. And again, another thing to point out is that if I would have not thrown this away inside of combat, we would have gotten to pick the bow back up, and then we maybe would have been okay here. Maybe I want to try thinking about it more, I kind of want to try some green Cavaliers at the top end of this deck too. Picking things back up out of the bin sounds appealing. You have Escape Shift, enjoy. How many they should know how many lands are in their deck, right? So this is, whatever lands are left in their deck, they're getting here. If they have 3 lands in their deck and make 6 more tokens here, that's probably the game. One Field of Dead. All right, well this is all the zombies that remain. These are the remaining zombies, chat. They have 10 cards. So if they attack with everything, I'm gonna go block a 1/1, block a 2/2, take 6, 7, 8. if that Jadelight Ranger would have hit another point of toughness, or if we'd have drawn a creature in these draws, we might have been okay here. I think we're gonna be dead here though, because we're out of Tolsimirs. Like, Tolsimir would be the best draw at this point, and we don't have any more of those. Yeah, we get to exile 1, and then we go block, and we take exactly 8. That was a crazy game. Crazy match, really. The first game was really good too. We're gonna play some more with this green-white bow deck, maybe make a couple changes to it. But before we do that, I'm gonna run to the restroom really quick. I'll be right back. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Hope everyone's having a great Monday. All right, so if I wanted to fit green Cavalier in here, I feel like Grazer's about the only cut, but I don't know if I really want to cut ramp at the bottom end. Suppose I could theoretically give up Thorn Lieutenant, perhaps. I feel like the red matchup probably gets pretty challenging if I cut these cards, though. What does my sideboard look like? If I do this, cut the Jade Lights, trim one of these, add 2 of these in another land. UHC Gaming, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate the support. Let's give that a try for now. The format's gotten pretty mid-rangey. I'm sure we'll just queue into vampires and get run over, but we've got a lot of removal in the sideboard too. So like I've got Baffling End and I've got the red-black exile a red or black card thing, so it might still be fine. So it's actually possible that it depends on your deck, for instance. So for example, in this deck, it might be possible to cut Veil of Summer. One of the big reasons for Veil of Summer in the sideboards is not even for blue-black control like you're asking about. In my opinion, one of the big reasons to be playing Veil of Summer right now is because of the prevalence of the card Mass Manipulation. So Veil of Summer is a 1-mana green card that says counter your opponent's Mass Manipulation, which is a big deal. I actually want to do this turn, and then I can either go double 2 or Nightpack Ambusher next turn. I mean, Vampires was the only archetype to put 2 copies into the SCG Open top 8 this past weekend. So, it's probably more than reasonable. Alright, running Nightpack Ambushers it is. Smells like fog. Smells like fog. Smells like Nexus, maybe. We've actually not been playing against much Nexus, which has been pleasant. This deck's probably pretty bad against that, if I had to venture a guess. They could theoretically be a Frilled Mystic deck here as well. So in general, I recommend not putting a ton of stock into the difference between like a top 8 and a top 16, or like a top 4 and a top 8. Like the difference in those places is like exactly 1 match win. And with as much variance as a game like Magic has, 1 match win is frequently pretty insignificant. All right, so I think I'm gonna do that and then just play this to pump the damage, and then also play Arkbow here. Because I'm gonna play Arkbow this turn anyways, which is not gonna give me the token, so I might as well just play this now and get my extra point of damage in. Getting the Arkbow down is appealing because there's 2 copies of the White Cavalier in my deck, which can be used to shoot Wilderness Reclamation. Well, I mean, I didn't cut White Cavaliers for Green Cavaliers, Steric. So, like, I'm not really sure that statement's, like, previously the list I was playing before this wouldn't be a White Cavalier. Like, I still have 2 of those in my deck. I really wish the arena developers would remove the stupid my turn text from this button. It's such a tilt, and the interface should really remind you that you're not getting another turn. I'll concede once they flip the search for Azcanta. Alright, they're guaranteed to flip the search for Azcanta, as we will. Cavalier of Thorns actually probably not very good. I don't think Veil of Summer is very good. This matchup's probably pretty close to impossible. This deck's pretty mid-rangey and doesn't have discard spells or counter spells to keep up with what the opponent's doing to, like, interact with them. The only meaningful axis of interaction we have is, like, 7 cards that destroy their artifacts and enchantments. And, like, in our deck's defense, we do have a lot of ways to find those cards somewhat consistently. But I would still be surprised if this ends up being a favorable or even close for us. Well, as always, if you miss any of my stream, everything gets cut up and posted to my YouTube channel and website after the fact, so you'll be able to find the highlights in both of those places. I don't get the appeal of the Nexus deck. Some people really like masturbating in front of an audience. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's entire websites dedicated to that.
Wait, you think nature is kind?
So, do I kill Reclamation here, or do I kill Search for Azcanta? I feel like I probably kill Search. I'd really like to draw a land here. Maybe this could find a Knight of Autumn, and then I can keep my threat in play. Yay, magic. And, like, now, if I want to, like, disrupt them, I have to, like, lose my clock in order to disrupt them. So probably dead. I'm just gonna concede. Playing this matchup makes Magic lose all joy for me, especially after such a good first match. I'm just not gonna sit here and let it sap and make me feel negative. And that's why I really wish that card would have gotten banned. Because it just, like, takes all of the joy and saps it right out of the game. Yep. It's one of the single most miserable parts of this format, which is impressive considering 3 mana Teferi's a card that exists in this format. At least, I'm probably just going to play the Flash deck on Thursday. The Flash deck has a good Nexus matchup. And usually when I need a tiebreaker for 2 different decks that I like, I pick the deck that beats the miserable deck. I guess I hope to draw a land. I'm playing in the fandom tournament again on Thursday. Yeah, I miss the sweet Dirtily Amulet Nexus deck too. Cards like Nexus of Fate are way more fun when they're a meme than when they're something you take seriously. This matchup's probably very hard game one. One of the reasons why the Boros Feather deck is so good right now is because when people aren't interacting with your stuff, you tend to get to run away with the game, and we don't have any interaction in our main deck. That being said, I've got Baffling Ends and the card that exiles red creatures on my sideboard, so we're gonna get 6 of those post-board, but I'd be pretty surprised if this matchup's good for us. They did not add delay to the fandom tournaments, no. After watching several of the fandom tournaments throughout the course of the last few months as they've been doing it without delay, it didn't seem like the lack of delay caused any issues. So I reached back out again asking if I could get an invite. And from a content perspective, no delay is much better. So it definitely generates better content, even if it does open the door for bad actors to potentially be turds. Like we did have someone during my win-in match tell the person I was playing against one of the cards in my hand, which, like, kind of sucks, but I don't think that ruins the entire tournament necessarily. Comments like that, Rhinograth, make me feel like people don't actually understand why Reclamation is good. Because on a fundamental level, what you're saying is not comparable. Like, those things, in my opinion, those things are not alike in the slightest. They banned that person from their channel? I have no idea. I'm not a moderator. I don't manage other people's channels. While I really like the play patterns of what this deck is doing, between talking about how the Nexus matchup is bad and the Feather matchup's probably challenging, I would be surprised if this deck's ever close to being super competitive. But I think, like, if you're playing against things like, say, Mono Red or other kind of mid-rangey decks, I think it has a lot of play to it, even if it does have some more popular matchups that are just going to be a super hard challenge. I mean, at the end of the day, we can't actually know Horst. I'm gonna bottom that. I want another white source so I can cast this Cavalier of Dawn. For you to play a Naya Hero deck list. We've already made and played a Naya Hero deck list, Arcane. And for a $10 donation, I'm happy to throw that one back in the queue. You can find my preferred iteration of Naya Hero on my website, jeffhoagland.com. Click standard decks at the top. Good little Grazer. Defense. Defense. Yep. It's really unfortunate we didn't draw a land that turn, because getting to Tolsimir their 2/2 would have been ideal, instead of having to burn a Baffling End on it. He's dead, Jim. You've killed him. They run out of threats. If they ran out of threats, that would be great for us. That's incredibly rude while I sit here and miss land drops. It feels fitting, and this is how it always goes, right? We added a land to our deck, and now we're stumbling. We did cut Jadelight Ranger by comparison, though, so, like, Jadelight does add some amount of consistency. That's a scary one. Hoping for an untapped land next turn. We do have a few tapped lands in our deck. Hoping to draw a 5th land. Draw a 3rd uncastable 5-drop. The Jeff Hoagland story. Look at all of our lands, chat. Huge tracts of land. Speaking of Naya Feather.
I didn't go through hell to lose to you. For the fallen.
I'll grab Tithe Taker. I've already got lands 4-5 lined up here.
Not again.
Coach Berg, thank you for that very generous tier 3 resub. For the 9th month at that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. We might finally have a game where we have a shot here. We drew lands and creatures to cast with those lands, which is nice. Fatty boom. Alright, we did the thing. Paradise Druid inside a Naya Feather is interesting. I think we still board similarly, just like boarded a bunch of removal spells. I don't think I want enchantment removal in this matchup. I'm gonna trim Thorn Lieutenant, a Tithe Taker, and then a couple of these. These are probably a little bit hard to defend on average. As we saw her coming down and then just dying the following turn a couple of times there. I love the design on the green Cavalier, dumping some cards, and you're already being able to rebuy something when it dies is sweet. Yeah, I agree. It's nice. It's nice when cards are self-enabling like that, right? Alright, you know what I'm playing for fandom? Yeah, I think I'm gonna play the Sultai Flash deck that we've been playing on stream. That one's felt reasonably consistent and powerful. It's like a small variation on one of the more popular consistent decks. The land there was good. Cutting the Jadelights from this might have been wrong. Maybe the Tristanis are something I want to slide into the sideboard. There's been a little bit less mass manipulation overall, so I could see that card being something that we relegate to the sideboard in favor of the green Cavalier.
Puppies whine less than you.
Probably throw Grazer under a bus here. See if they have their Reckless Rage here or not.
Let me show you what was lost.
Another Cavalier sounds great. So I think I'm gonna upkeep this. This makes them have the Indestructible or God's Willing in their hand already. If they had that last turn, they might have used it to push through to kill the Vivien. They do have the God's Willing. So that means we're basically not killing this feather. However, my board is pretty good here, right? So, especially if they take another turn to attack down this Vivien, there's a good chance we just race them, right? Vivien, Champion of the Wilds, gives all of our creatures flash. Yep, and they just passed here. Huh? I don't know.
You can still walk away.
I don't know that I can attack in my Nightpack Ambusher in good conscience here. Yeah, I agree. Them passing does seem excellent for us. We get another wolf now. We're gonna end some, and this is, I feel like this really shows some of the good power of like the white Cavalier. Just like decent body, pseudo removal. I'm gonna do a metagame breakdown for SCG. You mean like read you? You're asking like, am I going to read to you the metagame breakdown that they post on their website? No. I'd like to fancy the fact that my chat can read. I believe in you, chat. You can read. You're capable of reading. Alright, so now, because I played this Cavalier during their end step, this God's Willing goes away until the beginning of my end step, which gives me, that's actually a good draw, which gives me a chance to Baffling End my way through their stuff here. Sweet. So, like I said, that matchup's probably hard, but I don't think it's impossible. I'll try and fit these Jadelights back in here. I'm not sure I need this card in my deck. I'm going to put these Tristanis in the sideboard. Cavalier of Dawn has been one that I've been pretty impressed with. I feel like I want to put these Jadelights back in. It puts 3 Tristanias and 2 Veils on the sideboard. Let's try this. You think I just don't want the Grazers? What do we think is better against like red aggro? Like Grazer's like pretty good against the mono blue deck, right? You want 2-drop dorks? I guess. Like I have 25 lands. I don't know. Like the Grazers are much better against Paradise Druid than I think all the Cavaliers are pretty reasonable. Like the Grazer is an accelerant. It just like needs a land with it. I like the Grazer too, I think. I think Grazer's better than Paradise Druid. I feel like the matchups where it's important I have an accelerant, Grazer is just the best one. Past Llanowar Elves. I'm gonna leave it like this. I haven't played the mono blue matchup with this deck, but we are kind of clunky, and like Grazer's definitely a very good piece of ramp there. Nah, I don't really do written articles anymore exclusive. And like one small piece of data like that isn't really statistically significant, especially because we don't get the full starting metagame breakdown. So in order to draw really meaningful conclusions about things, you generally need to talk about things like called conversion rates, like how good decks start to where they finish, and we don't have that information. Yeah, I agree, Marty. I think all of the Cavaliers are probably like reasonably playable, and the blue one's probably the worst. The bottom of Tolsimir, just in case they're a counterspell deck, I want an Arkbow to make sure it resolves. And like, the second Arkbow is like never terrible, because you can discard the second Arkbow to the first one if it resolves. Is there another Scape Shift deck? They could be blue-green flash with budget mana. Well, I'm glad I kept the Arkbow. They could potentially have another counterspell here. It looks like blue-green flash with budget mana. Resolving Bow has to be absurd in this matchup, huh? That's interesting. I think I'm just passing. Hey, look, they blinked. Easy eat here. So, normally, I'd get a little aggressive here and, like, try and find a Tolsimir, but there's a Tolsimir in my hand, and there's a Tolsimir that I put on the bottom of my deck, so I think I just pass here. Red Rover, let Cutthroat come over. Spin, 2, win. I'm targeting their Curious Obsession as opposed to their Cutthroat, just in case they have a dive down. I should have no problem cutting through a 3/3 as this game goes long. Like, these cards look really good in my hand, but there's no way I'm casting a spell for the rest of this game, right? There's like 0% to cast another spell, basically, unless they take this Arkbow off the table somehow. There's like making wolves and activating the bow. Swing, bada, swing, bada, swing, swing. Maybe I'm supposed to grab the Tithe Taker there. All right, so this is going to come into play. I'm going to bow for 7 here. I did not find a Tolsimir of my own. If I found a Tolsimir of my own, it would have eaten that, which would have been nice. I added the 4 Tithe Takers because the opponent's deck has become very popular lately, and I wanted to have some extra game against it. Looking for my next Tolsimir. Sweet. Alright, so Pupper comes into play. Pupper's a 5/5. Pupper fights Pupper. Gains some life. Didn't play a spell this turn. So end my turn. 2 4/4s get made. 4/4s get to fight things. Gobble, gobble. Tolsimir. Tolsimir triggers on every wolf entering play. So every one of these Nightpack Ambusher things is going to gain 3 and gobble something up. As you will. My pup's bigger than your pup. My pup's bigger than your pup. Neener, neener, neener. Alright, so I want a couple copies of Ale Summer. That seems fine. What else do I want here? Like, I just always want Bow or Vivien. Yeah, landing early Bow is just like critical there. Do I want to trim one of my more expensive pieces of top end? Probably. Cavalier of Thorns is probably the worst of all of them. This probably doesn't block super well. I'm gonna leave one Thorny Boy in. I like having like 12 bombs at the top end to like search into. Do you have any military background? I do not. Before I was a full-time meme here on Twitch, I was a stay-at-home dad for a little while. Before that, I was a systems analyst for a major insurance company. Before that, I was in grad school. Have a master's degree in mathematics with a minor in education. This is fine. It's not like turn 2 Bow good, but like turn 2 Tithe Taker is pretty decent. Little short on lands. I wish this was an untapped land for my Llanowar Elves, but it is what it is. You're still our stay-at-home dad. Ain't that the truth? Now, instead of watching 2 children, I watch 1,600 of them. Let's shy away from making even comparisons like that in Just Stray House. Actual war is truly horrific. And hopefully we can get to a point where that's not something people have to actually experience anymore. What if I attack with this to try and bait a play? I think I like that. Can you do my homework with me? I have your child after all. Did I meet Christy while working at their insurance company? No, Christy and I actually met in Boy Scouts. And we moved to Bloomington together, so I could do grad school here. No, that's actually the correct spelling, -3 card. A lot of people don't spell it correctly. That is actually how her name is spelled. Once you actually get on the board against this this flash deck, it's just like really tough for them to catch back up. I'm taking Calc 3 this semester, and I might need your help. Calc 3, depending on what school you're at, because they line up differently at different schools, but Calc 3 is much easier than Calc 2 a lot of the time. Yeah, this is fine, right? Like, these trade, this eats their thing, like, they're super dead. I'm just gonna pass the turn. Actually, that's not true. I'm gonna attack with this Tithe Taker. I'm gonna attack with the elf. I'm gonna attack with the elf. If they wanna flash something in to eat the elf, I'll play a 5-drop. Made day 2 of SCG War with your Naya Featherlight. Deck was super fun. Awesome! Congrats, that was you. I noticed that there was someone who looked like it was very close to the list that we've been playing here on stream. Congrats. Could I have played Tolsimir to kill their Nightpack? Yeah, maybe that's better. Maybe. Vivien. Alright, so are they dead? Smells like they're dead. This is 9-12. Yeah, they're dead. So we play this new Tolsimir out. We keep the OG one. We still make a wolf. The wolf comes into play as a 4/4, and these wolves trade. And then we attack them for 9, 12, 14. Card was mediocre. That's good to hear. Well, I mean, not great for you, but like that my gut feeling is pretty reasonable. All right, that felt pretty okay. Pretty okay. Tithe Taker doing a little bit of work there, just like we wanted it to do. Feels good to add a card to the deck for a specific purpose, then like have it come up and that purpose work out. Hey, Fat DB, thank you for the Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. Yeah, I don't know if this deck has, like, I don't even know that Nexus is something I should worry about with this deck, though, because I feel like the Nexus matchup is just, like, so unwinnable. I think the Nexus matchup with this deck is pretty bad. I think the Sultai Flash deck also has fun play patterns, and its Nexus matchup is good, as opposed to where this deck has a bad one. Yeah, it's a tough sell, because, like, Tithe Taker's pretty mediocre against, like, mono red. Although it's probably not terrible against, like, vampires, like, if that's the aggro deck you care about. Did I just concede? Probably can't beat this from this point, right? Maybe they'll have nothing. Alright, alright, I get it. I get it. I get it. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, that's why I was a good teacher. Gotta make them think for themselves. So I definitely want those 5 cards in my deck. The question is, what do I want to cut? The reach on Vivien is kind of appealing. However, I don't think I can reasonably protect her, and her getting Spell Pierce really sucks. So I think I'd rather only have cheap things because they're easier to play around Spell Pierce. So I think I'm going to cut the Viviens and cut a Jadelight here. Doesn't seem unreasonable. Maybe cut a Cavalier instead of a Jadelight. This Cavalier's kind of mediocre. Let's do that. at least typing your terminal command is better than typing your password, Corel. Well, our poker hand is excellent. However, our magic hand leaves a lot to be desired against a deck that's going to get under us. Yeah, it seems super reasonable. Are we playing catch and release on this Tolsimir? I think we're playing catch and release on the Tolsimir. Cyrix. NA, thank you for the 16-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Maybe I just throw back the Grazer, actually. Because, like, I don't really have more... The Grazer's an okay blocker, but, like, these are fine. They're going to disrupt my opponent. And, like, the Grazer doesn't really accelerate me if I don't have more lands to play, which is a knock against Grazer for sure. Well, it would have meaningfully blocked this, huh? Running Tithe Takers on the play should put us in a pretty good position here. Give us room to race here a little bit, too. Huh? Okay, now I'm just going to play that, because it gives me the best chance to hit a land drop. So we'll play Jadelight, and then hopefully next turn we can go Taker into Arkbow. I'm gonna bin that because I want my best chance to hit my 5th land drop. I just played my first MTGO League using Sultai Reclamation. I'm so sorry. Is there anything? I'm not sure if there's anything we can say to make you feel better, but if you think of something, let me know. That deck is especially tedious. I assume you mean the modern version. Yeah. Hey, 3-2, get that value pack. I'm actually gonna attack here, because if they want to trade for the Tithe Taker, I get a Flying Spirit, which lets me block the Terramander later. This is for activated abilities too, right? Sweet. So if they don't leave up the ability to interact with this, Tolsimir gets to eat their Terramander next turn. I wish Alt-Tab worked properly with multiple monitors. Sounds like you need an operating system that gives you the freedom to configure things like that to your liking. All about them options. All about the tools. Reclamation is played in Modern. It's a fringe deck. Blue-white pitch. I'm pretty sure I accepted that as a donation deck at one point, and then the person never sent a donation for it, Erdian. So, if that wasn't you, it was someone else. Oh, Tricky Dick. Alright, so Tricky Dick's gonna come into play here. I'll try and diddle my spirit. I'm gonna go ahead and crank this to 5. Discard Tulsi. That is the white Cavalier, which is gonna come into play and shoot Scary Terry here. This game should now be over. For 1. Pour one out for Tithe Taker. Doing the Lord's work here. Further activations on Arkbow should lock this game up for us, hopefully. Alright, this is an attack for 5. We have lethal on the backswing though, right? So... let's just attack with the vigilant creature. The Pirates ended up feeling just like a bad version of the Sultai Flash deck, unfortunately. It was doing very similar things, but just a little bit worse off overall. Here's Tulsi. Funk. If you are into blue-black flashy things, I would definitely recommend watching the Sultai Flash video. It's the second time we've played that. I'm pretty sure that's going to be my deck for the Thursday Fandom Tournament. Send in the wolves indeed. Gobble, gobble. Yeah, I think I'm happy with how I boarded. Let's just go ahead and run it back here. So, if I look for Tolsimir there, and they have Dive Down, I then don't have a good attack, is the issue, CIO. So I think I didn't talk about it, but I should have talked about it. So I could have dug for Tolsimir to try and push lethal, but I felt like I was so far ahead that I didn't need to do that. And I don't know that it's probably close either way. I think like there were a lot of right ways to eat that Rhesus, like all the decisions were heading in the same direction, but I like this deck too. And this deck's got a lot of fun stuff going on. It plays really sweet games. If you're looking for like good, honest mid-range Magic in this format that's got some trixies behind it, this is definitely a great choice. Alright, who's got 2 thumbs is getting blown out by Dive Down? This guy right here. I wasn't prepared for that to work, chat. I wasn't prepared for that to work. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to do with my hands. What do I even do with myself? I don't know. I wasn't prepared for this. There were millions of possibilities, but that was not one I had considered. Yeah, if you really wanted to build this deck to beat Nexus of Fate, I think going Bant is probably the way to go. Honestly, though, outside of the Nexus matchup, I really feel like I have too many cards in just green-white, so I'm not really sure that I want to, like, explore other colors necessarily. Alright, so what's the line here? I could just YOLO the Cavalier, which like has some appeal. I think I just YOLO the Cavalier. I could like Baffling End to bait a counter and then play the Arkbow, but I think I'd rather just bait with the Cavalier. Yeah, well, that one can go back on top. If they have another tricky dick, they could maybe aggro us out, but if they don't have a second Merfolk Trickster, seems like we're in a pretty good spot. I would like to block. They found the Dive Down, yep. Alright, second verse, same as the first, a little bit louder and a whole lot worse. So are we done here? Are we done here? What are we doing with ourselves, opponent? They found the second tricky dick. We might not be done here. Old tricky. All right. Arboreal Grazer is about to get an upgrade next turn, chat. That's incredibly rude. There are tricksters every turn for the rest of the game. You might be right. You might be right. I don't want to gamble and swing for a 4 here because if I go past a 5, I'll just be really sad. Should have gone for the 4, obviously. Obs. No, I think it's right to not go for the 4 there. This attack is so aggro, chat. Swing better, swing better, swing better. Well, I mean, like, you know, we turned an Arboreal Grazer into an Arboreal Grazer. Got a flying blocker now. Got a flying blocker now. I appreciate the cojones on my opponent, though. Just like no fear attack into the 5/6 and the bow activation. They know what their out is. Their out is us running awful.
Even a typhoon begins with a single hand. The sky is my domain.
It's so sad that this Planeswalker is so bad in a format with Teferi, because she's really sweet. Swing, butter, swing, swing, butter. Wow, this. Man, let me tell you about this bow card, chat. Let me tell you about this. The next bow activation is gonna be really good. Yeah, her token is beautiful. Take to the sky, my friend. There's all of our friends going to the bottom all at the same time. It is a very pretty token. Let's finish her off. Yeah, the second Cavalist reach seems good. We just want to leave them in a position where they don't have good attacks, so they die on the backswing, which is pretty reasonable here. And like, this has reach, this has reach, this has flying. So like, in a pretty good spot overall. Alright, if this isn't a dive down, they're probably dead. Because this Nightpack Ambusher is going to fight this in response to them adapting it. Because now they can't, and now they can't dive down, right? So the Tithe Taker's in play. Alright, gain 3. That should be a wrap on this one, huh? Cavalier of Thorns is just a very good card. pretty happy with that addition. When we were playing this earlier in the season, there were more mass manipulation decks in the format, so I was happier with Tristani in the main deck. But I think the way things have kind of developed, I don't mind Tristani being in the board. And one of the nice things about this deck is that the extra mana from this is relevant because, like, it gives us more Arkbow activations, which is really sweet. I wonder if I want less copies of this card in my deck. Although this card does add a nice amount of consistency, so maybe not. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with where I ended up. I'm going to update the list on my website for this. Like I said, I think this deck is a pretty hard Nexus of Fate matchup, but outside of Nexus of Fate, I feel like this has a lot of play in a lot of the different matchups that exist in the format. I feel like you're not just conceding to anyone except for Nexus of Fate. And even there, if you hit an especially aggressive draw, maybe you can run them out, especially with Brontodons and Knights post-board. But if you're looking for something that's kind of sweet and you want something that's not blue-green flash that leverages this really powerful card, Nightpack Ambusher, I would definitely recommend checking out this deck. If you haven't seen it before, this is one of the many awesome decks that you can find on my website. I'm going to take a second to plug myself here. So you go to magicesports.net or jeffhoagland.com. You can click standard decks here. And here, not only will you find lots of really well-organized pages, but you can click on any one of these and you'll find a short description of the deck, what it's trying to accomplish, my current preferred iteration of that deck with easy export buttons, because this isn't Wizard's website. It's written by someone, you know, who knows how to use WordPress. And then a playlist of all the times I've played that deck on stream in the past. You want to see the deck in action before you devote your brush of wildcards to it. I'll be back tomorrow morning at about 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to play a couple of Magic Online leagues again, and then we're going to roll right on into some more Standard here on Arena. Thanks, everyone, for watching. If you prefer to stay here on Twitch as opposed to checking out my past stuff, it looks like William Jensen is streaming, so I'm going to go ahead and give him a host. Have a good one, folks.